Dad, perfect events. I buried my wife 6 months ago. Yesterday I saw her alive at Home Depot. My name is Howard Mitchell. I'm 58, and let me tell you something. After 26 years of marriage, you think you know a person. You think you've seen everything they're capable of. You're wrong. I was standing in aisle 12, looking at wood screws for the deck repair I'd been putting off since Dorothy died. The insurance money had finally come through, and I figured keeping busy with home projects might help with the grief. That's when I heard it, her laugh. Not similar to hers. Not someone who sounded like her. Her exact laugh, the one that used to echo through our kitchen when she watched her morning shows. My hand froze on the screw box. I turned around slow, my heart already hammering like it knew something my brain couldn't accept yet. And there she was, 3 aisles over in the paint section, holding color samples up to the light. Same brown hair with the gray she always complained about. Same way of tilting her head when she concentrated. Same Dorothy I'd supposedly watched them lower into the ground. I dropped the screws. They scattered across the concrete floor like buckshot, and a couple people looked over, but I couldn't move. Dorothy, my dead wife, was comparing paint colors like she was planning to redecorate heaven. I walked over there on legs that felt like they weren't mine. "Dorothy," I said. Just her name. Nothing else would come out. She turned, and for a second, maybe half a second, I saw recognition flash across her face. Then it was gone, replaced by this confused, almost scared expression. "I'm sorry," she said, backing up a step. "I think you have me confused with someone else. Someone else. Like I hadn't been married to her for 26 years. Like I hadn't held her hand through 2 miscarriages and celebrated when Clifford was finally born. Like I hadn't kissed that same mouth goodbye every morning for over 2 decades. "No," I said, stepping closer. "Dorothy Mitchell, you're my wife. I'm Howard." She shook her head, clutching those paint samples like they were going to protect her. "My name is Diana Brooks. I don't know you, but here's the thing. Liars always give you too much information. If I was really a stranger bothering some random woman, she would have just said you're mistaken and walked away. Instead, she gave me a whole new name, like she'd been practicing it. I pulled out my phone and showed her our last anniversary photo. Us at Romano's Italian, her wearing that blue dress she said made her feel pretty. "Look at this," I said. "Tell me that's not you." She glanced at the screen, and I saw it again, that flash of recognition before she shut it down. "That woman looks a bit like me, but it's not. I'm sorry you lost your wife, but I'm not her." Then she walked away, just turned around and headed for the checkout, like this conversation never happened. I should have followed her right then. Should have made a scene. But I was 58 years old, standing in Home Depot, wondering if I was losing my mind, so I let her go. I bought my screws and drove home to the empty house that was supposed to be my sanctuary. That night, I sat at the kitchen table with a beer and thought about everything. The closed casket funeral, because the accident was too severe. How Clifford insisted I shouldn't see the body, the way the life insurance company processed the claim so quickly. Details I'd been too grief-stricken to question at the time. You know what's funny about being an engineer? You're trained to look for patterns, to spot when something doesn't add up. But when you're drowning in grief, that logical part of your brain shuts down. You accept what people tell you because questioning it would mean admitting that maybe, just maybe, the people closest to you are lying to your face. The next morning, I called in sick to work for the first time in 3 years. I drove back to Home Depot and waited. Call it engineer's logic. People are creatures of habit. If Dorothy was local, she'd likely shop the same places, same times. I parked where I could see the entrance and waited. 3 hours. That's how long it took before she showed up again, this time with a shopping cart and a purpose. She walked right past my truck without looking, focused on whatever project she had planned for the day. This time, I didn't approach her. I followed. She drove a white Honda Civic I'd never seen before, license plate I memorized without thinking about it. Old habits from my engineering days. You document everything, you verify twice, you trust, but confirm. We went about 15 minutes from Home Depot to a neighborhood I'd driven through but never really noticed. Small ranch homes, the kind young families buy as starter homes or retirees downsize into. She pulled into the driveway of a pale yellow house with a neat front yard and flower boxes that looked like someone actually cared about them. Not fancy but maintained. The kind of place Dorothy always Said she wanted when we were first married, before I started making enough money for the bigger house we ended up in. And that's when my world completely fell apart. A man came out to help her with whatever she'd bought. Mid-40s, dark hair, wearing work clothes with grease stains that told me he worked with his hands. He kissed her cheek, not like a friend, like a husband. The casual intimacy of people who'd been together long enough to stop thinking about it. Then a little girl, maybe 8 years old, ran out yelling, "Grandma Diana!" and wrapped her arms around Dorothy's legs like she'd been waiting all day for this moment. Grandma Diana. My supposedly dead wife was playing grandma to some other man's grandchild. I sat in my truck for 2 hours watching them, watching Dorothy, or Diana, or whoever she was calling herself now, hang her coat in a front hall that wasn't ours, watching her move around through the windows of a kitchen that wasn't the one I'd remodeled for her 3 years ago, watching her live a life that didn't include me, had never included me, like I was some stranger she'd met once at a bus stop. The man, I found out later his name was Ray Garrison, owned a small auto repair shop about 10 minutes away, had a granddaughter from his daughter's previous marriage, and the little girl spent weekends with them, with Dorothy playing house in a life I'd never known existed. When I finally drove home, one question kept hammering in my head like a nail gun, on repeat. If Dorothy was alive, who the hell did I bury? That night, I did something I hadn't done in months. I went through Dorothy's things, not the clothes I'd donated or the jewelry I'd put in the safety deposit box for someday giving to Clifford's future wife. I went through her desk, her filing cabinet, the box of papers she'd kept in the bedroom closet that she said was just old bills and tax stuff. Turns out, it wasn't just old bills. There were bank statements for accounts I'd never seen before, credit card applications in her maiden name, a post office box rental receipt dated 3 years ago, insurance forms, medical records, even what looked like a birth certificate, all for Diana Brooks. Diana Brooks. The woman she'd become to escape being Dorothy Mitchell. I spread everything out on the dining room table, like evidence in a case I was trying to solve, because that's what this was, a case. My wife hadn't just died and come back to life. She'd planned to disappear, created a new identity, and executed it so perfectly that even I, the man who'd shared a bed with her for 26 years, had bought the lie completely. The next morning, I called Clifford, my son, my only child, the boy I'd taught to ride a bike and helped through college and trusted to help me navigate the worst loss of my life. He answered on the first ring, which should have been my first clue. Something was off. Clifford never answered on the first ring. "Dad, hey, what's up? Son, I need to ask you something, and I need you to tell me the truth. Did you actually see your mother's body after the accident?" Long pause. Too long. In engineering, we call this a red flag indicator. When someone takes too long to answer a simple yes or no question, they're calculating their response instead of just giving it. "Dad, we talked about this. The accident was bad. The funeral director said it was better to remember her the way she was. That's not what I asked. Did you see her body? Yes or no?" Another pause. "No." "But Dad, why are you asking this? Are you okay? Have you been taking your blood pressure medication?" See, that's deflection. Instead of answering my question, he was trying to make me question myself. Classic manipulation technique. I'd seen project managers do it in meetings when they didn't want to admit they'd missed a deadline. I told him everything. The Home Depot encounter, following her home, the man and the little girl calling her Grandma Diana, the papers I'd found, the fake identity, the secret bank accounts. I laid it all out like an engineer presenting data to a review board. I expected shock, disbelief, maybe concern for my mental health. Instead, I got silence. Dead silence that stretched on so long, I checked to make sure the call hadn't dropped. "Clifford? Dad?" His voice cracked like he was 16 again, caught sneaking out past curfew. "I'm so sorry." Those 4 words told me everything I needed to know. My 32-year-old son, the boy I'd taught to throw a curveball and helped with his first job application, had been lying to my face for 6 months while I grieved a woman who was out there playing grandmother to someone else's family. "How long have you known?" I asked. "About 3 years. I found out by accident when I was helping with the business paperwork for the marine supply company. You remember when you had that hernia surgery and couldn't lift anything for 6 weeks? I was going through the files, trying to organize everything for tax season, and I found duplicate utility bills, insurance payments going to 2 different addresses, phone bills for numbers I'd never seen before. I remembered that surgery. I remembered being grateful that Clifford was willing to help with the paperwork so I could focus on recovering. I remembered thinking what a good son I had, how responsible he'd become. When I confronted her about it, she broke down crying, he continued, said she'd made mistakes, got in too deep with this other guy, but she was trying to figure out how to get out of it without destroying the family. She begged me not to tell you, said it would kill you, said it would destroy everything you'd worked for, everything I'd worked for. Like the 26 years I'd spent working overtime to give them both a good life was some kind of business investment instead of love. The plan was hers, he continued, and I could hear him crying now. She said she wanted out of the marriage, but didn't want to lose half the assets in a divorce. She said you'd fight her for everything, that you'd use your connections in the construction industry to make sure she got nothing. She was scared, Dad. She said it would be easier for everyone if you just thought she was dead. Easier. For everyone except me, apparently. There was this homeless man, Clifford went on. Terminal cancer, no family except a niece in California who hadn't talked to him in 10 years. Mom found him through some volunteer work she was doing at the shelter. She offered him money, a lot of money, to let her use his identity when he died. And she offered the niece money too, to keep quiet about the timing. I felt sick. And you went along with this? I didn't know about that part until after. I swear, Dad, I thought she was just having an affair, that maybe she'd come to her senses and end it. But then she came to me with this plan. She said once the life insurance paid out, everything would pass through me, and I could take care of you. Make sure you had enough to retire. To her. To start her new life. With Ray to her. To start her new life with Ray. She said it wasn't really stealing, because she'd contributed to paying the premiums all those years. She said she deserved something after 26 years of marriage. She deserved something. After 26 years of me working 50-hour weeks so she could stay home and pursue her hobbies. After 26 years of me handling the finances so she wouldn't have to worry about money. After 26 years of me thinking I was building something with someone who was planning my funeral while I slept beside her. I kept some of it, he continued, about $30,000, to maintain appearances, to make sure you were okay financially until you figured things out. I hung up. I sat in that empty house for the rest of the day, looking at the life insurance papers, the bank statements, the fake identity documents spread across my dining room table. Dorothy had been planning this for years, not months, years. While I was working overtime to pay off the mortgage early so we could retire comfortably, she was creating Diana Brooks. While I was putting extra money into Clifford's college fund and then helping him with his first apartment deposit, she was opening secret bank accounts. The next morning, I did what I should have done from the beginning. I Googled private investigator fraud and found Vernon Cole, former police detective, 25 years on the force, specialized in financial fraud and missing persons cases. His office was in a strip mall between a tax preparation service and a sandwich shop, which somehow made him seem more trustworthy than if he'd been in some fancy downtown building. I walked in with a folder full of everything I'd found. Vernon was probably 60, gray hair, sharp eyes behind reading glasses, the kind of guy who'd seen every kind of human stupidity and wasn't surprised by any of it anymore. My wife faked her death, I told him, sitting down across from his desk. My son helped her do it. They stole $150,000 in life insurance money, and she's living under a false identity with another man. He didn't even blink. Just opened the folder and started going through the papers I'd brought. If what you're telling me is true, Vernon said after 20 minutes of reading, this goes way beyond adultery. This is insurance fraud, identity theft, conspiracy to commit fraud. We're talking about multiple felonies here. It'll take some time to build a solid case, but if the evidence holds up, your wife and son are looking at serious prison time. I wrote him a check for $5,000. I want proof, not suspicions, not theories. Proof that will hold up in court. What's your goal here? He asked. You want them arrested? You want the money back? You want to expose them publicly? Because how we proceed depends on what kind of outcome you're looking for. I thought about that question for a long time. What did I want? I wanted my wife back, but that woman had never really existed. I wanted my son to be the man I thought I'd raised, but that was apparently a fantasy too. I wanted the last 6 months of my life back. All those nights I'd lain awake wondering what I could have done differently. All those mornings I'd woken up to emptiness thinking it was grief, when it was actually relief that I didn't have to pretend anymore. I want justice, I said finally. I want them to face consequences for what they did, and I want every penny of that money back. Vernon nodded. Then we build a case that'll stand up in court. This is going to take time, and it's going to get ugly. Your wife's going to hire a lawyer who will claim she was escaping an abusive marriage. Your son's going to say he was trying to protect his mother from a controlling father. They're going to paint you as the villain in this story. Let them, I said. I've got 26 years of neighbors who never saw me raise my voice to her. I've got coworkers who never saw me miss work because of mysterious injuries. I've got bank records showing I put her name on every account, every investment, every asset we built together. If she was so scared of me, why didn't she just leave? Why go through all this elaborate fraud? Vernon smiled for the first time since I'd walked into his office. Now you're thinking like a prosecutor. Give me 2 weeks. While Vernon worked, I did my own investigation. I went back to that yellow house with Ray Garrison 4 more times over the next 10 days. I learned Dorothy's new routine, took photos with a telephoto lens I borrowed from my buddy at work who did wildlife photography on weekends. I documented her living this whole other life, grocery shopping, taking the little girl to school, cooking dinner in a kitchen that looked nothing like the one she'd complained about for the last 5 years of our marriage. I found out Ray owned Garrison's Auto Repair, a small shop that specialized in older cars and trucks. Good reputation in the community, divorced about 8 years ago. Granddaughter named Emma, who spent every other weekend with him. A decent guy, probably, who had no idea he was harboring a fugitive. Dorothy had inserted herself into their lives so smoothly, it was like she'd always been there. Playing grandmother, playing house, playing the role of a woman who'd found love later in life, instead of a woman who'd faked her death to avoid the inconvenience of divorce. Vernon called me exactly 2 weeks later. I've got enough for a full report. You need to see this in person. The folder he handed me was 3 times thicker than what I'd brought him. Bank records showing Dorothy had been siphoning money into secret accounts for over 2 years before her death. Property records for the Yellow House, purchased under the Diana Brooks identity 8 months ago, with cash. Utility bills, credit card applications, even a voter registration, all under the fake name. And then the smoking gun, phone records showing regular calls between Dorothy's secret phone and Clifford, continuing right up through the previous week. Even after confessing to me, my son was still in contact with her, still part of the conspiracy. Your wife didn't just fake her death, Vernon said. She's been planning this new life for years. The homeless man who died in her place, his name was William Davis, and he died of cancer in County General Hospital on March 15th, 6 months and 3 days ago. The niece in California was paid $25,000 to keep quiet about the timing of his death and to authorize cremation under your wife's name. And my son knew all this? The phone records suggest he's been helping her maintain her new identity even after the funeral. He's not just an accomplice, Mr. Mitchell. He's been actively participating in defrauding you for months. I closed the folder slowly. What are my legal options? Criminal charges for sure. Insurance fraud, identity, theft, conspiracy to commit fraud. Federal charges too, because she used falsified documents to cross state lines for banking purposes. Your wife and son are looking at 3 to 5 years minimum, probably more if the prosecutor wants to make an example. That night, I called Barbara Stone, a criminal defense attorney who'd handled several high-profile fraud cases in our city. Ironic, hiring a defense attorney to help me prosecute someone, but Vernon said she understood the system better than most prosecutors. She reviewed Vernon's evidence and nodded grimly. This is a prosecutor's dream case. Everything's documented, multiple felonies, clear financial motive, and the defendant's own phone records prove ongoing conspiracy. How do you want to proceed? I want them both arrested. I want the money back. And I want everyone who knew me to understand that I wasn't the problem in my marriage. She filed the complaints the next morning. By noon, warrants were issued for Dorothy Mitchell, also known as Diana, Brooks and Clifford Mitchell on charges of insurance fraud, identity theft, conspiracy to commit fraud, and theft by deception. They arrested Dorothy first at Ray's house while she was making lunch for Emma. Vernon's contact in the police department said she didn't resist. Just asked for a phone call and a lawyer. Ray stood on his front porch watching them put her in the patrol car, probably wondering who the hell he'd been living with for the past year. They got Clifford at his apartment 2 hours later. He called me from jail that evening. "Dad, please, we can work this out. We can pay back the money. Mom's scared. She's in a cell with prostitutes and drug dealers. You don't have to do this. We're family." "Son," I said, and my voice was steadier than I expected it to be. "You helped your mother fake her death and steal $150,000 from me. Then you looked me in the eye every day for 6 months while I mourned her, while I blamed myself for not being a better husband. There's no working this out. There's only consequences." The trial took 4 months. Dorothy pled not guilty and claimed she was escaping an abusive marriage, exactly like Vernon had predicted. Her lawyer painted me as a controlling husband who monitored her every move and threatened her financially. It didn't work. Too many witnesses testified that I'd never been anything but respectful to Dorothy in public. My coworkers confirmed I'd never missed work due to injuries, never complained about problems at home, never showed any signs of being violent or controlling. Our neighbors said the only fights they had ever heard were about normal married couple stuff, money, schedules, whose turn it was to take out the trash. Clifford took a plea deal halfway through the trial, 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, and full restitution for his portion of the theft. At his sentencing, he finally looked me in the eye. "Dad, I'm sorry. I really thought it would be better this way." I nodded. "I know you did, son. That's the saddest part of all this." Dorothy got 3 years. The judge said her crime was particularly heinous because she'd exploited her husband's grief and love for financial gain. She never looked at me during the sentencing, just stared straight ahead, like I wasn't there, which I guess is how she'd been seeing me for years anyway. The insurance company recovered most of their payout, and I got back about $130,000 of what was stolen. Not everything, but enough to rebuild with. Ray Garrison tried to contact me once through Vernon, wanting to know if Dorothy had really been married to me. Vernon told him yes, for 26 years, and that he'd gotten lucky finding out who she really was before she decided to die on him too. Today, I'm 59, single, and sleeping better than I have in years. My son writes me letters from prison, and maybe someday we'll rebuild what he broke. Dorothy will be out in 2 years with good behavior, but she'll never be out of the consequences of what she did. Sometimes people ask if I'm angry. The truth is, I was angry for a while, but anger burns out eventually, and what's left is something better: clarity. I know exactly who I am, what I'm worth, and what I won't tolerate. And I know that sometimes the best revenge is just living well while the people who tried to destroy you face the consequences of their choices. That's enough for me. Trust isn't just about believing someone won't hurt you. It's about knowing they won't systematically plan your destruction while you sleep beside them every night. The people who truly respect you will tell you hard truths to your face, not comfortable lies that serve their agenda.